Hello again, YouTube. This is Darren with New and Old Survival. I'm out in my garage today. We're expecting around 6 inches of snow. I want to give you an idea of how to bake and cook when you don't have electricity. And I'll show you what you're going to need. Stand by. Alright, first of all, what we're going to need is a cardboard box with a top. And you can also see that we're going to need some aluminum foil. I've got 3 coat hangers and a pair of pliers to cut them with. I have a digital thermometer. I also have a stapler and some glue, and that is going to be to hold the aluminum foil to the box. I also have a grate, but you can use a pan, like 2 pie pans, bottom to bottom, so that you have a dead air space in the bottom. And we also have charcoal. And for today's experiment, we're going to have a chicken that we're going to be cooking in our cardboard box oven. I'm going to show you how to make that right now. Alright, the first thing that we want to do is to line the inside of our box with aluminum foil. Want to make sure that the shiny side is out. The glue stick, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but I've got some white strips here. It's just a glue stick. That's going to help hold that in place. But I've also got a stapler that I'll put and hold this. And I'm going to line the sides the very same way. Alright, here's our cardboard oven, and I didn't fool too much with doing this because this is going to be inside. So the next thing that we're going to want to do is I'm going to cut a vent hole in the top, and I want to cut some air holes in the bottom. So we've got our vent hole. I'm going to move the camera. In the side, down at the bottom, and all I did was just cut it on 3 sides so that it sticks out like this, and I can kind of control the intake. I've also done the same thing with the top, with that flap sticking up. If too much heat, let me get you in frame, if too much heat is escaping, then I'll just fold this down a little bit, okay? If I need more heat to escape, I'll move it back out of the way. Now I will wrap this as well, so when it is down, it will reflect more heat. But you can see maybe the corrugations inside of the cardboard, and that little bit of dead air space is what gives you the insulation needed for cooking. So there's a little bit better. All right, next step, we need a rack. And we're going to put those in. My coat hangers here are going to serve that purpose. And just holding one of them up, I only need to cut out the straight piece in all three of these. And that's going to give us a rack. And actually, I just had an idea. Let's see if we can, I don't know if this is in frame or not. If not, I'll go back. I'm going to cut one piece here where it's got this little bend. Good grief. And then on this side. So now I've got something like this. I'm going to stick it through, and that'll hold it in place. Then I'll bend the other side. I'm going to do that to all three and get right back with you. Okay, now that I've got my three pieces cut, now all we're going to do is shove our three coat hangers. I'm going to do it from back to front so I don't mess up my, so I don't have to work around the front ones. I want to go about middle ways up the box. Very easily to do. And try to get them as level as you feasibly can. Okay, there's one. Two. That's a little bit higher. What would probably help, if you're really OCD about this, is to scribe you a line on the box before you try to poke these through. I'm going to make this a little bit wider. Alright, we got our three. Now, just like we said, we're going to bend these down. Just a slight bend is all we need. Alright, we've got our rack. And once we prep our chicken's going to sit in here just like this, okay? So now we're going to make a platform, or like I said before, I've already got one I'm going to use. This was an old computer fan, and I've just bent these down as close as I could to even so that I have legs. You might be able to see that. Yeah, I've got legs. Yeah, I got a message. I can put it down here, and I'm going to put my charcoal right here. It's going to be right next to my intake air vent. I'll put my charcoal on here, and we should be ready to go. This says it's ready in 10 minutes, no lighter fluid needed. Something I want to mention is if you decide to use this method, that each briquette will give you approximately 40 degrees of heat. So if I want 350-ish, then 9 times 40 would be 360 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and go 10 briquettes, and that'll give me approximately 400. And then I'd rather have too much heat than not enough. And then I can regulate my heat from here. So I'll go get my charcoal prepped, get it in here, and get my chicken prepped, and we'll load the oven up and see how it turns out. All right, I've moved my outdoor studio out to the fancy little cart that pull behind a tractor. You can see I just put the tongue in the ground, and that helps stabilize it. Put everything on top, and I've got the grate sitting on where the tongue hooks into, which allows plenty of air to get underneath, on top, all around. Then here in a second, probably a couple of minutes, we'll be going ahead and putting it in our oven. I've already got my chicken prepped, sitting in there. It's sitting on a lid, turned upside down, and inside of an oven bag, and I've just seasoned that chicken with salt, pepper, seasoned mustard or brown mustard, and some ketchup. So I got a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spicy, some salt and pepper. And so it's not hard to cook, it's not hard to improvise, but a lot of people wouldn't think of this. And I've got my thermometer sitting on the bottom stuck. It does have a magnetic base, so I can just stick it right on the side. I'm gonna pick the camera up, maybe you can see this. And I've just got my thermometer stuck down so I can kind of monitor the temperature and know what I need to do as far as my intake and my outtake, for lack of better words, exhaust. There we go. So anyway, I believe we're about ready. Go ahead and put our coals in here. And we're going to put our oven on. Oven door of our fancy cardboard oven. Alright, let's open this up. Oh yeah, nice. Turn that on. See if I can get a, see if we'll zoom in and get a picture of it. Let me cut this off. Alright, that took me like 2 seconds. But anyway, you can see the temperature climbing. And smoke's coming out the top. And time is all the way out, all the way out. If I can get that to show. 2:12. So I'm gonna come back here in about 2.5 hours. I'll be checking on it periodically, and we'll see what this temperature ends up at. Alright, about 14 minutes or 15 minutes has passed. You can see the outside temperature 46. And get down here. She's hovering right around 290. Alright. We are 2 hours. See if I can get that to focus. It's 16:12. We are 2 hours into our project, and I've inserted the thermometer into the meat. It appears to be overdone, but it's inside of a bag. All the moisture should be inside, and you can see we're hovering at about 205, 208. So I'm just waiting on the wife to come home, and we'll cut it open when she gets here, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, we've just brought the chicken in, got it out of our pan lid, and I put it into the actual pan, and I believe as we cut this thing open, it don't take much. Looky there. Let's get a fork. Oh yeah, that is tender and absolutely done. That charcoal smell smells great too. So what I'm going to do is just wrap it all up, wait till my sweetheart comes home, and we got some chicken for dinner. I hope that you've enjoyed this video today of how to cook in a cardboard oven. Easy to make, simple to use, and could be very beneficial in case you lose power. I appreciate your likes, your subscribes, your comments, views, support, and I have seen a lot of support over the last couple of weeks, and in the way of subscriptions. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video. Hopefully we can learn something together.